Tonight on Joynews, Prime Ghana Police Service announces 20,000 cedis reward for information on killers of Infantiman MP Eko Kwansa Hayford, who is said to have been killed after a confrontation Friday dawn with suspected armed robbers. Members of Parliament who have been eulogizing their late colleague have been making the case for members of the legislature to be provided with security.
For him to die the way that he did should clearly call attention to the need for maximum security for politically exposed persons, particularly members of Parliament.
An official of the National Identification Authority has also been killed in the northern region in an attack linked to a chieftaincy dispute in the area. Back in Accra, 17 persons, including 3 aspirants, have filed to contest the 2020 presidential elections at the close of nominations a few hours ago. We'll tell you who the 17 aspirants are. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, meanwhile, says the successful nominees will be announced next week.
Teams are working around the clock to complete their review and scrutiny of all nomination forms.
Our President Akufo-Addo says Ghanaians should vote for him because he is proven to be an honest man with integrity.
I want the people of Ghana to look upon me as an honest man, as a man of integrity, a man who did not come to deceive them.
And in business,
the National Labour Commission has ordered all GC net workers at the Registrar General's Department to resume operations after a week-long strike. As the Registrar General says, their action has caused disruptions in the registration of various activities, including marriage registrations.
Only Accra, I'm talking of Secondary Accra Day, I'm talking of Tamale, I'm talking of Kumasi, I'm talking of Sunyani, and even our other services like industrial property rights, marriages, estates. So we're ground to a halt. We haven't taken any revenue since last week Friday.
My name is Aisha Brian. Joynews Prime comes to you live from our studios at Fanofa and Kokomlime here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. Many thanks for choosing us. The Ghana Police Service has announced a 20,000 Ghana cedis reward for anyone who will offer information leading to the arrest of the killers of the Member of Parliament from Infantiman Eko Kwansa Hayford. The IGP has also sent specialized investigators from the CID headquarters to support the Central Region's crime scene team to unravel the mystery surrounding the suspected armed robbery which claimed the life of the MP. In a statement issued a while ago, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. James Opon-Buenu, said he's dispatched investigators from the homicide and anti-armed robbery units of the CID headquarters to support the Central Region's crime scene team to resolve the robbery incident and murder of Member of Parliament from Infantiman, Honorable Eko Kwansa, and at the Dominacy on the Mankesim-Abiaze Road in the Central Region at dawn, October 9th. And meanwhile, the IGP is offering a reward of 20,000 Ghana cedis to any person who gives credible information that will lead to the arrest of the perpetrators. The police administration commiserates with Ghanaians, particularly family members and constituents of Honorable Eko Kwansa, while urging the general public to remain calm and support police in the investigation of this case. And it is signed by Sheila Kesiabeye Backman, Superintendent of Police, and who is Director of Public Affairs. Now, the MP was shot on the Abiaze Dominace Mankesim Road Friday on his return from a campaign trip. In his Mankesim home, there is grief and anguish as loved ones gather to sympathize with the family. Central Region correspondent Richard Kojonyako gave this update earlier.
So this is the residential facility of the incumbent member of parliament for Fansimano constituency called Kwanzaa Hayford, who was shot dead early this dawn at 1 a.m. In fact, there have been several narrations that people are attributing to the death of this member of parliament. But this is the residential facility. It looks as if the entire town of Mankasim is here. People have trooped to where he lives. He has a wife and 2 children, and people cannot control themselves. It's a hefty blow. They do not know what to do. They can't even put words together to even describe what has befallen them. It's such a tragic news to befall them. They are sitting a member of parliament. They describe him as extremely hardworking, affable, humble, associates with everybody, the young, the rich, the poor, and all of that. It pains them. It saddens their hearts that such a thing should befall their candidate. It's been extremely excruciating pain for them to bear.
Well, what I know is that I was called in the middle of the night, somewhere around 2 a.m. I had a call that the MP is gone. So I quickly asked, what really happened, and I was told. So what I did was that I went to Sopwan Government Hospital, where I saw the MP lying down dead, being shot.
This particular stretch, what do you know about this stretch? And when you do campaign deep or late into the night like that?
We are not even campaigning at the moment. Because of the COVID, there has been a whole lot of strategy where you wouldn't have a whole lot of people. So what the constituency has designed is that they managed to meet some few people and talk to them. So, and normally what we do is that, we give them a pre-information that we are coming. But of course, if MP is going somewhere, there will be a whole lot of people also, coming across. So sometimes that's what really eats into the night. So it's not as if it's being organized in the middle of the night.
What do you know about this road, this particular stretch of road, from Mankasim to the Abiazi Dominasi up to Abra Dunkau? What can you tell me? Is it the first time this incident is happening?
I think so. I think this is the very first time, something of this sort where a certain MP has been shot. But we also know that sometimes there are a whole lot of armed robbery, incidents on that very stretch. Interestingly, that stretch used to be very, very, very bad. The road is very, very bad. And the same person who has been shot today is the one who is actually doing the work. collaborating with Nana Akufo-Addo and doing this very work. So it's so very pathetic. So what we know is that because of such incidents which has been happening, what's really normally happen in the middle of the night is that around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you don't normally see a whole lot of cars coming from that very stretch. So it was very strange that when the MP was coming from the Abazi Dominazi area, they met that traffic over there where he was shot.
Okay, so that is Eric giving us an account of what really transpired on this particular stretch of the road. There are so many people that are seated. In fact, they've been shedding tears the whole of this morning when the incident broke, and it's been so much of a difficulty for them to handle. So tell us, how do you take all of this?
To be honest and sincere, we are very sad this morning because we are not expecting something of this sort this morning. And from what we are all suggesting and assuming, it's something that they've planned and plotted about.
Why do you think so?
Because how come they went there and mentioned the name of the MP? Who is the MP? Because they are a group of people. So if they are armed robbers, they would have attacked all of them. They will not mention or point to a particular person. So in this way, they pointed that we are looking for the MP. And the moment the MP showed up, they shot him. So it means it's a plan thing. whether within the party or outside the party, it's a planting. And me myself, if it's outside the party, it's someone from the party within the party who took the information to them. Because how will the person know that the MP is taking this route or the MP is going to this very direction? So if truly even the person who killed the MP is not within the party, someone within the party gave the person information.
The driver of the MP who suffered gunshot wounds has been sharing with us events leading to the killing of the legislator.
No, okay, say Tukano. We can say Tukano ko eni wonte. Nti na mi jo na mi hwe say mi Tukano say me badwun so no me si Tukano. Joy say ofu aba me direction no na mi ka che me bra say onyi sika no ka no mu mame cause na mi say bi o mad bi na oba attack me. Nti mi kan sa pe na o change ni direction no. Nti mi time one mu say ba kusu firi ase no. Car light na esi so onso di mi ka kita the same dress touch ni bona ni na etuo ni kita no do be do mi chana omo mienu na surround me na ka say me full car no na me full no say me low me light no na me dum light in the car parking no je ho ni say car ba kusu fi suru ha esane je wa na me ti say omo so e shout no stop one nyina e bo boat yo no so omo e lead no na wo park here je ko ba sa no na etuo ni simi so saa na ode me ba be gina baby a mekanisi no no simi si no simi ndimi ja no na me dum ja so dum light na me dum no ti mi si fo wa na say for sikaba na me yi ska wo no ho e hye me bottom no e de ma no sini na no na me side to one side me yi de ho no ma no je ba sa na ba kuno so fa me passenger side e ko bie do no si brana me na ni passenger na ye de ni na ma no no mo di to leading as aba e suru ha be o mo de car na cross no na odin e be kan mo gufo mo no be len ka ho ane de ba ku di to ni si agunti se ka ni piepe na o ama oda na mo dumrika na mo akosela ndi car no e pie wa sen so ana ase ofu no so dumrika na mo metu a what you don no more than 50 omudosun ko ye defo mo no ni cho mu chom no omu ye me no ana me so omudosun mo betu Dubai 10 obi aso no din ka be edu na ka bi ya me hu ka bia ba di corona e try e bedu ha na yisia private car ba ko yisia no nti e hu ka bia.
Leadership of Parliament has directed MPs to restrict their movements at night following the killing of their colleague MP for their Yenswano and Chairman, MPP MP for Yenswano and Chairman of Parliament's Roads and Transport Committee, Samuel Aepai, who disclosed this to Joynews, says the killing has put fear in legislators. They tell Joynews the tragedy justifies their calls for MPs to be provided with personal security.
For him to die the way that he did should clearly call attention to the need for maximum security for politically exposed persons, particularly members of Parliament. The way it stands now, if you are in the executive or you are in the judiciary, you have access to state-provided security. But those of us who are not, we are left on our own. And I think it is becoming one too many. I think it is about time that we as a people make the commitment to ensure that those that we select to lead us are also given the needed protection, because without this, it is going to make it very difficult for more people with the right competencies and abilities to step up.
I'm even short of words. I don't even know the type of words that to use. It's quite very discouraging to even some of us who voluntarily put ourselves up as citizens of Ghana to lead our various constituencies in the country.
When you look at the spate of insecurity in the country these days, just about a month now, it's becoming scary, and everybody is being scared of their life. So you'll be there and your family will call you, hey, be careful, do this, as if we are now living in a situation or a community or environment where if care is not taken, things will go uncontrollably.
We as members of Parliament also need security. It is important we pass the laws that are putting restrictions on movement and the work of criminals. So we are always the target of the criminals. So why are you giving the judge, the police, because he passed the judgment? Why are you giving the minister, the deputy minister, the security to protect themselves? But those of us who sit and pass the laws, before the laws are sent to the judicial service for implementation, I'd rather not being protected.
Adam Bona is a security analyst and joins us via Zoom. Mr. Bona, I'm grateful that you joined us, but we're still battling the murder of the law professor Yao Bene. Yesterday, an NDC team was attacked, and today also an NIA staff has also been murdered. You must be worried about these developments.
Yes, Aisha. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Well, yes, I mean, I believe just as other Ghanaians are worried, including members of parliament, I am worried as well. The security situation doesn't seem to be getting any better. I would have wished that, you know, some of the writings, some of the publications, some of the advices we've given to the states in terms of security, more measures would have been put in place, but it looks like they have not paid any attention to some of the advice in publications and some of the writings, some of the advice we've given them. And so, yes, this is where we are. I am worried, Aisha.
And you talk about advice. What exactly do you think is wrong with us?
Well, you know, somewhere in January, when I was invited for an orientation program for the Institute of Security Disaster Emergency Studies around the Nyanyano area, when your team spoke to me, I told them going into 2020, there were 5 areas that the president and his team should be looking at. And one of it significantly had to do with highway robberies going into 2020, because we know that around this time, a lot of people crisscross, and movement of money around the countryside. People are moving. Politicians are moving with money. You know, people are moving. And so highway robberies definitely was going to go up towards, you know, 2020 elections. But unfortunately, if you go online, you Google my name, is one of the things I said among some 5 other, you know, areas I raised we should be tackling. And highway robbery is one of the areas that I mentioned, but unfortunately, nothing was done about that. And so I'm not surprised it's eating us. Already condolences to the family of this MP. He used to be a police officer, a CID officer who resigned to be a member of, you know, to do full-time politics. And unfortunately, he's met his untimely death in this barbaric manner. Very unfortunate, Aisha.
Mr. Bona, there are those who see this as contract killing. Others see it as armed robbery. Where would you put this, considering that we're still talking about Professor Bene, who also many think is contract killing? Then we've also seen the NIA staff today. Where would you put this? Is it contract killing, or is it armed robbery that is coming up again?
It is early days yet to start pointing and accusing fingers. But anyone who has followed the crime pattern of the, you know, murders in this country, it is you will not be far away from the truth if you say that there seems to be some serial killers on the loose. You can go all the way to Roko Frimpong, Fenechotri, Ahmed Swale, you know, Professor Bene, and the list goes on, the DBI, you know, Isada Fiamabuse, constituency NDC chairman, the water company guy who was killed in the north, this guy who was killed in Saboba, and the MP who is being killed, and the list goes on. JB Dankwa, the list goes on end. I mean, so many people have met their untimely death in this barbaric manner, and most, you know, importantly, no, I mean, we haven't really seen significant arrests. When I say significant arrests, the police have not been able to tell us, or the security agencies have not been able to tell us what they are doing with all these cold case files. You know, so long as we begin to see cold case files piling up, Aisha, the truth is that if there are serial killers on the loose, chances are that they are going to go out there unabated, continue to kill people. So one could say it is armed robbery. One could say it is, call it contract killing. But it's difficult to tell. It looks like contract killing. It looks like robbery. NDC, executives or those on kind of campaign tour were nearly. I mean, they were attacked literally. Their lives were spared. And so, are we getting any better? It is difficult to tell. It looks like we seem to be paying too much lip service to the security, of this country. And I would wish that we need to up our game. Those who are not getting it right would have to probably up their game and get the situation under control.
Now, MPs are calling for personal security, and there are some who say it's not only MPs who need that security, but the entire nation.
Yeah, I mean, I am of the school of thought that MPs don't need personal security. If you take the Hawa Kumsin situation, Hawa Kumsin is a minister of state. She is an MP. She decided to go to a polling registration center, didn't go with a security detail, armed herself, went according to her, and fired into the air. The truth is that do we actually even have the resources, Aisha, to deploy police officers to protect MPs? And do we know how much is involved? It is not as if the MPs, their lives doesn't matter. This incident that happened, we are told that there was a roadblock, and that roadblock, unfortunately, the deceased member of parliament, met the roadblock, and unfortunately he was shot. But listen, there are numerous highway robberies on our highways. There are numerous robberies. People are getting shot daily. People are getting killed. And so mine is that instead of the MPs calling for security for themselves, I think that they should rather be looking for security for all of us. Because if you look at the way they do their campaign, they move large money from one area to the other. It means we have to probably put them in armored vehicles to protect them. Mine is that let's rather make it convenient for every Ghanaian to be protected. As far as I'm concerned, calling for security for every member of parliament is a knee-jerk reaction. First of all, leaders in parliament have security. And so let's maintain the status quo, and let's rather look for a situation where all of us are protected. You are talking about 3 police officers per MP in this country. If a police officer is supposed to perform, in every 8 hours, they have to change. Every 24 hours, 3 police officers. When I did my calculation, we need close to 1,200 police officers per month. 1,200. What about the rest of us? When you go to Kaswa, you have close to 1 police officer to about 3,000 citizens. I'm not saying that people's lives in Kaswa don't matter. Go to a shaman. If you go to a shaman, it is close to 2,000 citizens per police officer. Go to my constituency, there is some form of district. If you go there, we only have a police post. We don't even have a police station.
Definitely, we
should be given police officers. I think that it is
Definitely, we need to back up security for the whole nation. I'm extremely grateful for your time. Adam Bona is a security analyst. I must apologize for the poor nature of the sound. But still on the matter of the MP from Fanteman, Eko Kwanza Hayford, President Akufo-Addo has in a letter to Parliament assured the police will do everything possible to bring to book those who killed the MP. Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, read the letter of condolence to MPs on the floor of Parliament.
By the law enforcement agencies to apprehend quickly the perpetrators of this heinous crime. I want to reassure you further that government will continue to take and intensify all appropriate measures to guarantee the safety of members and citizens of our country as we all go about our lawful duties, especially during this period of democratic accountability. May God bless the members of Parliament and us all. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. Nana Ado Dankwa
are passed with all 275 serious troops. Probably God has accepted your prayer. That is why we've not had any natural incident. But this unnatural murder of a member of Parliament, it happened to JB Dankwa. The perpetrators have not been identified. They have not been punished. But Mr. Speaker, it raised an issue that members of Parliament were our own enemies. There is public distrust. Sometimes there's even public outrage. We have suffered physical attacks, we've suffered verbal attacks, but not deadly attacks, not one that results in death.
Now, a senior officer of the National Identification Authority, Francis Nyamfo, has also been killed and many others injured after gunmen attacked a National Peace Council delegation at Sanguli in the Tantanle-Sanguli district of the Northern Region Thursday evening. Family of the deceased is accusing the police of doing little in picking up the people involved. The Northern Regional Minister Salifu Said told Joynews the attack is linked to an ongoing chieftaincy dispute between two Konkomba rivals, adding that security has been beefed up while the body has been sent to a morgue in Yendi. The gunmen are said to have opened fire at a school building in the community where the Peace Council delegation was to start a meeting with one of the chieftaincy factions. The deceased, who was part of the meeting, was shot multiple times and died on the spot. The chieftaincy dispute has been traced to a controversial eschewment 5 years ago. And still to come in business, Labour Commission orders striking GCNet employees at Registrar General's Department to call off a strike, which the Registrar General says has affected all aspects of operations, including registration of marriages.
It's not only Accra, I'm talking of Secondary Accra Day, I'm talking of Tamale, I'm talking of Kumasi, I'm talking of Sunyani, and even our other services like industrial property rights, marriages, estates. So we're ground to a halt. We haven't taken any revenue since last week Friday.
We'll bring you the details shortly after this break.
Hello, welcome to Business. I'm Charles Aitip. The National Labour Commission has directed the striking workers to call off the strike immediately and appear before the Commission on Wednesday, 14th October. So far, the Registrar General Jemima Oware has warned of a nationwide disruption in business registration if the government does not, as a matter of urgency, intervene in the ongoing solidarity strike action taken by workers of GCNet, which has led to the complete shutdown of all business registration departments across the country. Just today, we have seen empty chairs, as you've seen on the screen, stranded clients, and notices, all confirming how serious the situation is. Joy Business is learning that the workers of GCNet were compelled to embark on the action in solidarity with hundreds of their colleagues laid off at the Tema port. In an interview with Joy Business, Madam Jemima Oware says her outfit is helpless, saying it will only take government in its intervention on this critical matter.
They are the ones that manage our whole electronic system. So it's not only Accra, I'm talking of Secondary Accra Day, I'm talking of Tamale, I'm talking of Kumasi, I'm talking of Sunyani, and even our other services like industrial property rights, marriages, estates. So we're ground to a halt. We haven't taken any revenue since last week Friday. Absolutely nothing. We can't hear, nothing is happening. And when you call, you're giving assurances that it will come up. Nothing is up. We're not able to work. We've written to those in authority to inform them this is what is happening. But they are making every effort to try and get it up. But the workers are not around. They are threatening the few workers that wanted to assist. So nothing is happening. You are not even able to access that system to even provide registration services all across the country. That's what's happening. You know, people have contracts they have to sign. People have charges in relation to maybe loans they've collected from banks. They need charges registered. before those loans or those letters of credit will go through, or all kinds of transactions that you need the company registration certificate, and we are not able to process it at all. We were registering as many as 200 companies a day. Our revenues were sometimes 300,000, 400,000, sometimes even 500,000 a day. But now, absolutely nothing.
Let's turn our attention to the Western region, Takwa specifically, where hundreds of angry customers of defunct Men's Gold Ghana Limited took to the streets earlier today. The parent group, Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold, are demonstrating against the government for paying deaf ears to their concerns despite the repeated requests for a bailout. Now, Ella reports had it that they were turned down by the police in their request to embark on this demonstration while the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was on his 2-day tour in the Western region. The National Chairman, Isaac Nyako, argues that the law is explicit on the condition, that is, Act 929 gives them the indication of the regulator's responsibility owed to them, which means they're requesting payment anytime soon. Away from that, the Ghana Union of Traders Association has expressed confidence in the move by the two regulatory agencies, that's the Ghana Standards Authority and the Food and Drugs Authority, to merge the operations at the ports. Now, the move will mean that both agencies will do a single inspection of goods for certification before clearing. Here is President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Oben.
We are very excited about this harmonization. This is an issue that we've been talking about for so many years. There were times that the institutions at the port numbered around 15, and then we complained, and these have been pruned down. And then for institutions like the Ghana Standards Authority and Food and Drugs Authority, clearly you see that there will be duplication of functions, overlap of functions and all that. And that's why we are very happy that now the understanding has come for them to be harmonized. And business trumps on ease of doing business, time of doing business, and cost of doing business. And this thing is going to address just that. It's going to make sure that time of doing business is controlled, and then ease is also there, because it means that we are not going to unnecessarily being delayed somewhere and all that, and that you go to a place, one-stop shop, and then you get your work done, and that will go a long way to stimulate growth into businesses.
Well, and that'll be it for business on this particular edition. We're back at 8. My name is Charles Aite.
And it's time for Showbiz. Becky is here with the very latest. Hello.
Hello to you. I just saw you on TV, Aisha.
I was trying my hands on some tennis there.
I would love to do that.
Yes.
You should interview me or something. Because I only get to play tennis when you interview me.
Oh, really? Yeah. Don't worry. I'll do that and I'll take you there. I mean, we need to do it.
Yeah, we need to.
It's very good.
Yes. Let's talk about Nkrumah. Doom TV's Nkrumah. So they're coming up with another season. They're done with 2 seasons, and they're telling us that we don't want to miss, this particular.
The kids were fantastic in the last one that ended last season. So I'm looking forward to
the third season.
I actually heard some of the kids talking on Adom TV, and they sounded very...
Yeah. So here is what you missed last year.
Righteous. Go back.
Me pede way I use you stage, because I open the
I'm so throughout. She takes out voice and said,
I like your stage breath. What's you? Practice and add the extra. What is it?
It certainly looks like something that will be very interesting. Looking at the last season, it will be fun.
So for the young ones out there, just go register. They might be in your area. So we'll be looking forward to that. But Aisha, let's talk about music and fashion. Raskuku is the man in focus.
That's it again.
I'm telling you, I love Raskuku, man. Raskuku says that he tries as much as possible to represent Ghana in his
anywhere he finds himself. That's actually a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, as you can see, this is Raskuku. This is RK, made of Kente. That means Raskuku support anything Ghanaian, anything African. When it comes to Raskuku and fashion, as you can see, watch the Rasta man, everything nice and clean. You should know that. And when it comes to the stage, we will not care whether it is fashion or not, whether it is yogurt or tomato. We here to give them music and to give them performance. And anytime we turn up the stage, everything Kappa says. So you should know that we don't watch whether it is fashion or this is performance.
And it's all about the
poor man. Poor. Aisha, later on this evening,
I'm sure they've not stolen his award again.
No. He's keeping his stage. It's the reason why he had the chance to perform. But Aisha, later on this evening, you'll be having a very long conversation
with Bridget Jogbenuku, who is the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party. She's a former Miss Ghana. 30 years ago, she says, she was Miss Ghana. And I found out from her what she feels about all these issues we've been hearing about Miss Ghana, who are being harassed, and sometimes you have to do something to get the judges to okay you and all that. And she felt so disappointed with it. And she says, the image out there is bad. So the Miss Ghana team should do something to fix it.
Wow.
I think it's the times we are in, because we hear that about the University of Ghana too. And I run mentoring programs. I've been running mentoring programs since 2009. It comes up, sex for grades. It comes up. So it's become a thing that is going on now. It's the times we are in, and it's disappointing. I think that the Miss Ghana need to clean out that image very quickly. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but it needs to be cleaned out so that the contest can go back to those days where it was thought of as clean and decent.
I agree.
So the interview comes up at 9 p.m. on Personality Profile.
Yeah.
And that'll be it?
Yes.
That's all you have for me?
The director said, happy birthday to Ureku and our director David. He gives us the time.
So one of the best directors.
I'm telling you.
Happy birthday, David. Shout outs to you. And that'll be it for Showbiz. Thanks so much for bringing us Showbiz. Welcome back to Joynews Prime. To the rest of our stories. A 37-year-old suspected robber has been left with severe cutlass wounds after some residents of Abuaji Krom pounced on him. The suspect, known as Mahmoud Abubakar, currently in critical condition, sustained deep wounds on his leg and other parts of the body. Some residents who spoke with Joynews said the suspect, who is not known to the community, is accused of robbing some people.
Thank you, no Kasa.
Nango.
Na mamni si ebro. Na ede see e.
See go phone one fear ni mo ma chana. Jana mo phone ko for you na jana. Wana de zan musum se miya. Kasa kase. Kan biya mon tasi. Amo kita berantan on di bamia. Am di na bofie. Bofie so continuous.
But no almost wa bokro no ana.
And our correspondent Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin joins us with more. Mahmoud, tell me when this happened and what actually led to this.
It's quite difficult for us to be able to know what actually led to the butchering of this man. But what I have gathered from the scene, from the suspected armed robber himself, he told us that he was going to meet a friend who was coming from a different community, and some group of men met him and they mistook him for a robber, and so they butchered him. And so that was what happened. We tried to further inquire from him whether he was caught up in a robbery scene or something like that, but he kept telling us that he is innocent, he didn't do anything. They just mistook him as a criminal and then they butchered him. So as we speak now, he's still receiving medical attention at the Boise Government Hospital. The assembly member Jibril Jalil has been trying to locate any of his relatives so that they could come to the hospital and be able to take care of him. The police have also not made any arrest as we speak now.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin is our correspondent in the Ashanti region. We'll be keeping our eye on this to get to the bottom of this matter. It's 59 days to elections. Stay on your election headquarters on the Joynews channel for everything elections. Now, the Electoral Commission says it will brief the nation on the outcome of its vetting of nominations forms submitted by the various presidential aspirants after Monday, when the teams is set up to scrutinize and submit their report. The EC closed the nomination process on Friday, having started the process 4 weeks ago. In all, 17 presidential aspirants filed, including President Akufo-Addo and John Dramani Mahama for the NDC. The chairperson spoke to journalists after the close of nomination hours ago.
As noted in our earlier meetings, the teams are working around the clock to complete their review and scrutiny of all nomination forms. They will present the Commission with a full report on Monday. We will thereafter set a date to brief you, to inform the political parties who have qualified, and to provide you a brief on the outcomes of the review process.
Leader of the Liberal Party Ghana, Kofi Akpalu, says he is confident of victory in 2020. He told journalists after filing his nomination hours before the deadline on Friday that he considers President Akufo-Addo and former President John Mahama as the only credible contenders.
Now the next election is about what we are going to do for Ghanaians. He has done what he promised, but the next term is about what we are going to do. And so everybody is bringing what he or she wants to do. Who do you think is your main challenger? Honestly, this election is between myself, Nana Akufo-Addo, and John Dramani Mahama. I can tell.
Now let's get to know who the 17 aspirants are. And right there on your screens, Alfred Kwame Asedu Walker is an independent candidate. Henry Herbert Latte, Ivor Green Street, Kofi Koranting are also contesting. Alfred Kwame Asedu, independent, Christian Kwabena Andrews, Hassan Ayariga for the APC, Christian for GUM. All of them, Ekia Donko for GFP, Kwesi Adai Odike UPP, and Nana Ejeni Boating UFP. So we have Kofi Akpalu, LPG, Kwesi Busumbru, PAP, Bridget Akosia Jogbenuku, PPP, John Dramani Mahama for the NDC, Nana Dodonko Akufo-Addo for the NPP, Nana Kunedra Jamin Rawlings for the NDP. And Merrick Kofi Gain for Independent, David Apasera for the PNC. So those are the 17 candidates. We'll be waiting patiently to hear from the Electoral Commission as to whether all of them are going. Now, President Akufo-Addo has called on Ghanaians to massively vote for him to retain him in office come December 7 because he is a man of honesty and integrity and not in office to swindle Ghanaians. He said this when he met members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs as part of his 2-day tour of the Upper West region. Joynews' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam is traveling with the president and has sent in this report.
President Akufo-Addo appeared before members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs and Queen Mothers with 2 speeches, one written and the other extempo, going into December 7 polls. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is not unaware of the difference between the 2016 election and the one coming in 58 days' time.
In 2016, I came with a bucket full of promises of things that I intended to do. And I believe that it was the people accepting those promises and also being affected by the poor governance of the then Mahama administration. It was the combination of these 2 phenomena that got the people of Ghana to vote for me in the massive manner in which they did. This year, the situation is different. I've had almost 4 years in the saddle, and therefore I cannot go just on promises for the future. I have also to put in play my record as President of Ghana over these nearly 4 years.
He rolled out his performance record in the Upper West region.
There are 2,163 projects being executed in the region, with 1,299 completed, and the remaining 864 ongoing. Out of the 1,299 completed projects, 112 are in the educational sector, 48 in the health sector, 31 in the road sector, and 256 in the water and sanitation sectors.
President Akufo-Addo recalled his saddest day in politics, spoke of the bond between the MPP and the people of the Upper West region.
SD Domo, who is indeed part of the trinity of personalities who describe our tradition, the Dankwa, Domo, Buzia political tradition. SD Domo, Jato Kaleo, BK Adama, Naba Ifakabo, Mumuni Dimbie, these were some of the founders of our movement. Many of them had to suffer exile and detention and displacement because of their beliefs, which they kept right until their dying day. The saddest day of my political life was on the 8th of December 2012, when the Electoral Commission announced not only my defeat, but also that we had not had 1 seat in the Upper West, that we had been cleaned off the political map of the Upper West entirely. And I was determined that we should reverse that situation. And God willing, on the 8th of December 2016, we had a different result.
Then his plea to be retained based on his honesty alongside the party's 11 parliamentary candidates.
And I'm saying to the people of Ghana that I have kept faith with them, that the promises that I made to them substantially, a large and overwhelming proportion of them I have lived up to and have seen executed. So that I want the people of Ghana to look upon me as an honest man, as a man of integrity, a man who did not come to deceive them, and that therefore I appeal to them to continue to have faith in me and my sense of integrity. It is on that basis that I'm asking for 4 more for Nana.
Earlier, President Akufo-Addo called on the Yarna, Alaji Salu Mumi Sungumu, and his subjects to congratulate the former on his coronation as the new Yorana, and also to console them on the demise of Alhaji Yakubu Seydou, better known as Alhaji Condescend, whom he described as loyal and strong member of his political project and the MPP. Reporting for Joynews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Former NDC Member of Parliament for Idra Setredumasi in the Ashanti region, Haji Muhammad Isifu Pandagu, says he is being bastardized for speaking about the positive impact of the Planting for Food and Jobs program. According to him, people do not understand why a former NDC Member of Parliament could speak positively about the opposing party's policy. He says though it is common to see the two main parties disagree on many issues, there should be consensus when it comes to matters of national development. Maxwell Kudeko has more.
Mr. Pandangu said, but for government support through the Planting for Food and Jobs, life would have been very difficult for him after Parliament. Speaking at the commission of a 100,000 capacity fertilizer and improved seed warehouse constructed by a private agrochemical dealer, Rans Boat Company Limited, Mr. Pandangu called on Ghanaians to eschew partisan politics and support initiatives that alleviate the plight of the people. Members of both NDC and MPP are beneficiaries of subsidized fertilizers and improved seed. It has improved the yield of farmers and I have benefited tremendously. I am a Muslim, so if I stand here and give false testimony about it, Allah will punish me, says former NDC MP Mr. Pandangu. He urged Ghanaians to take advantage of the intervention and enter into agriculture.
Ghana no cry and na me hochide. Na me wa parliament no nema bi ba we agree on consensus. Yin na pere say me boa. Na ma lusu na me fie. Na plan for food aba na me kwani na me seed. Na ba na say emra me ya. Enye I have to agree on consensus too as a farmer.
The Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Gregory Andrews, broke down in tears during a visit to the Ghanaian witches camp in the Yendi municipality of the Northern region. The High Commissioner, who could not stand what he described as the inhumane treatment meted out to the women, said his visit to the camp was to solidarize with the women on the death of 92-year-old Okuadonko, who was lynched at Kafaba in the Savannah region, and also learned firsthand about the state of the women. Martina Bugri has more.
Speaking to the media after a short engagement at the alleged witches camp in Ngani in the Yendi municipality, the Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Gregory Andrews, called on Ghanaians to rise and fight the menace.
About 90-year-old women being beaten to death as so-called witches. The abuse of people as witches is inhumane and it's un-Ghanaian. That's why I'm here today. I want to understand firsthand, and I want to show my love and compassion to these elderly women who remind me of my grandmother. The Australian government and the Ghanaian government are opposed to the abuse of so-called witches, and so is the United Nations. Australia and Ghana, as members of the United Nations, we have a responsibility to protect people's human rights. And abusing women and accusing them of being witches is an abuse of their human rights. The abuse of women as so-called witches is un-Ghanaian, it's un-Christian, and it's un-Muslim, and it's inhumane. The message that I'll take back to Australia is that Ghana's president and the government are seriously concerned about this, and so many Ghanaian people are as well. So let's all work together to show our love and respect to elderly women and protect them from abuse.
One of the caregivers appealed to government to add the women to the LEAP program.
Of the rest for coming to see their situation, and she's very happy, particularly for you coming down to their level and she's just thanking God that all that you will be able to do with the help of God, that they are not in the LEAP program as they are suffering here. Where to sleep is a problem. They don't even have mattresses, not to talk of mat, and they are also doing small farming. If they have some little capital that can they can start a little small business here that can also take care of them. That may God raise your hands up so that you will be able to come to their aid and rescue them.
And Tilini Ama, one of the women, said her dream is to be reintegrated with her family someday. She said food, shelter and healthcare is a huge challenge facing the women.
I wish one day my children will be educated and become somebody in future so that they can come and take me out of this camp to join my family. The way and manner we are being treated is inhuman, therefore we are appealing for support.
Since ancient times, eggs have been a part of humans' lifestyle, so much so that they have a day dedicated to them. World Egg Day is celebrated on the second Friday of October every year, which falls on the 9th of October this year. The day is observed to acknowledge how eggs have been feeding families all around the world and to spread awareness about their nutritional value and importance in the human diet. As part of activities to mark this day, the Ghana National Egg Campaign Secretariat, in collaboration with the apex body of women in the poultry value chain, has donated some crates of eggs to the multimedia group. Manuela Peli, a member, explains the benefit of eating eggs and the consequences of not consuming them.
So eggs comes with a lot of benefits. It's just not the pleasure of eating and enjoying eggs, but then eggs have its nutrients which helps the blood. Whilst you eat egg, you are reducing your risk of stroke. When you eat eggs, it builds your muscle, so you are reducing your aging limit. When you eat eggs, to your brain, so if you have somebody who you probably want to consider as dumb, you might want to try giving them eggs for some time to see how they will improve. Aside that, too, eggs is good for the blood. It's good for everything, and it's a very good energizer to start with your breakfast. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, you want to eat something, you might want to fry a few, you might want to chop a little and add to your salad so that you can enjoy and have an energy-filled day. You are going to lose in all these benefits I have stated, like your blood, your brain and everything. Some also don't like egg because of maybe health implications. Some of them are allergic. Somebody takes egg and will be having all kinds of rashes and all that. So some genuinely have reasons for not taking eggs, but if you are not allergic, I believe taking eggs will not take anything from your life. You are going to rather improve your health. You are going to become more healthier every day. As part of the celebration, we wanted to extend our tentacles to the media houses for being up to task even throughout this COVID period. They've been working tirelessly, exposing themselves to all the risks. We want to say thank you in a special way. And as such, also to mark the celebration, we'll be making egg donations at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital as well as Pantine Hospital, also for them to enjoy. We are believing that these eggs will go a long way to boost the immune system of the media men, media crew, and all the patients of the hospitals that we are donating to. Well, business-wise, we will say we haven't enjoyed like the beginning of the year. At a point, we even had issues transporting our chickens around because it was like there's a lockdown and nobody can move around. So if you have eggs that you are supposed to deliver, you'll be locked down. But after the lockdown period, it has been impressive. Things are moving back to normal and we are hoping for the best.
More than 1 billion people across the world suffer from one form of visual impairment or the other. In sub-Saharan African countries like Ghana, the prevalence of visual impairment is driven by the delay in case reporting to health facilities. While most of these conditions can be prevented by sticking to healthy physical and dietary lifestyles, the gap in access to quality eye care continues to expose more people to varied degrees of eye ailments. As Ghana joins the global community to mark World Sight Day today, eye specialists are calling for the inclusion of eye care under the coverage by the National Health Insurance Scheme. There's more in the following report. We apologize for the breaking sound. We'll try and fix it and bring you back that story. But 431 cases of breast cancer were recorded at the Tamale Teaching Hospital in the northern region between 2015 and 2019. A total of 1,167 breast specimens were received within that period. This was made known at the health screening exercise organized by the Yona Abdullahi Yakubu Andani to commemorate his 55th birthday. Martina Buguri was there for Joynews. I must caution viewers, the pictures may be a bit disturbing.
The health screening exercise brought together doctors and nurses across the country who are schoolmates of the Saviligu chief. The residents were screened for various illnesses. Hypertension topped the list. Speaking to Joynews team leader, Professor Darren Morner said most of the cancer cases were found in young women. He attributed the high numbers to lack of screening in mass.
Because they normally present late at their facilities, treatment outcome is poor. Why are they presenting late? It's because we don't screen women. We don't go out actively screening women for breast abnormalities. And that is one of the reasons why we started this breast cancer awareness campaign and breast screening in northern Ghana. And I can put on record that at the Tamale Teaching Hospital between 2015 and 2019, we have received a total of 1,167 breast specimens. Out of this, 431 were cancers. And we found that close to 36% of all this population, the 431, were younger than 40 years.
He said they had found 10 women out of the over 100 they had screened so far with problems in the breast. He said one of the women, Sanatu Mahama, needed immediate attention.
We've seen a woman with a very huge breast. The cancer has eaten onto the skin and is associated with even spread to one of the hand, the upper arm. That means this cancer is already advanced. And such a person, there are three.
We're still live on Joynews. Fine, we'll take a break. We'll bring you more in business.
Hello there, welcome back once again to business. The country's quest to move towards a cashless economy could take off from next year, 2021. This is because the institution charged to lead the process, that is the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, responsible for providing the required infrastructure, says it is ready for this program. This should mean that the basic systems needed to aid this migration are now in place. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Chief Executive of Gibbs, Archie Hesse, said that his outfit is working to reduce the cost of using digital platforms to aid their use.
It was very clear that remote payments became the order of the day. And when it comes to remote payments, we're talking about electronic payments, which is one of the key things that we have been driving for the past 12 or so years. So it gave us the opportunity for us to test, one, whether we do have the systems that are capable to withstand the pressure in terms of volume of usage, and also whether individuals were aware of it. So for us at Gibbs, I would say that COVID gave us an opportunity to actually showcase that Ghana is really poised and ready for the cash light or cashless agenda. And when we're talking about cashless or cash light, basically what it is we are used to paying for our goods and services using cash. The alternative instrument is the electronic payments, which is deemed to be cheaper, not as costly, etc., etc. And these are the products and services that we've been putting up in this country. And when the COVID came, if you bear me just a little bit, you realize that we had a number of products and services when it comes to payments. We have modernized our check clearing system. I'm not sure about the deadlines, etc. But from GIF's point of view, all the necessary systems needed to support any entity to only receive digitized payments, we do have them.
Now, a cosmetologist, Shika Kamara, tells Joy Business that her business was near collapse as a result of COVID-19. According to her, the cosmetology industry in Ghana is one of the hardest hit by the pandemic, which rendered the sector almost ineffective. There is more in this report put together by Emma Davis.
Yes, Saint Pierre once said, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you do good. Looks are important. But have you for once thought about how much you put in your looks? I guess not. Records show that fashion and makeup combined in 2018 amounted to $1.2 trillion.
However, the advent of the novel coronavirus brought a new normal, and the beauty industry is no exception.
And so during the COVID, trust me, there was no business. And most salons have had to close down afterwards because there's no business, but you have to pay rent, okay? And right after the lockdown, the ban was lifted too. People were scared. So 2-3 months in, you see that only 20% of the people that you're used to seeing are coming. COVID has really impacted the business. While you were staying home, I'm sure you started learning how to do things for yourself, right? Exactly. And so people started learning how to. And so I think that is also a new business idea, how to package things for people at home.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Kamara indicated that COVID-19 is not the only factor which has affected the industry. According to her, social media and YouTube have also contributed to the low patronage of services as people are adopting the do-it-yourself strategy.
If I sit here and I say it hasn't affected my business, I'll be telling a tall tale. It has affected business in the sense that people are bolder to try things out by themselves at home, do the DIY at home. So on the basics, to learn just on the surface, then people are doing things at home by themselves. But when you do have like a special occasion or you want something to be done for you that will last longer, it's best that you come to a professional to have the job done, taking in mind your safety, taking in mind the professionalism, the way the thing will be done for you, how it will look on you as well in the finishing. But I say people are watching YouTube and starting beauty businesses. People are watching YouTube and starting beauty colleges out of YouTube.
You mentioned earlier, you said you made the statement, beauty doesn't mean break your bank. That's a very interesting quote. I think you should attribute it to beauty doesn't mean break your bank.
Yeah, you don't have to break your bank to be beautiful, especially when the goal is not to change who you are, but rather to enhance your natural beauty.
My name is Emma Davis, reporter for Joy Business.
Well, Awake Purified Water, one of the product ranges of Casapreco Company Limited, has donated 150,000 cedis to the National Cardiothoracic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The donation is derived out of profits made in the second and third quarters of 2020, which adds up to a cumulative amount of 1.4 million cedis since 2016. Here's a report.
The 150 cedis donation forms part of the company's project dubbed One for Life. The project aims to financially support the less privileged and disadvantaged who cannot afford medical care, including heart surgeries. The marketing manager of Casapreco Company Limited, Evans Kofi, in an interview noted that the kind gesture forms part of the company's corporate social responsibility.
We bought 150,000 Ghana cedis, which is a total of 2 halves. Because of COVID, we couldn't present the first 75,000 Ghana cedis. So today we put together the two donation to give to the National Cardio because we feel that we owe Ghanaians a lot with respect to the promise that we gave. COVID affected everybody. It affected sales, but we couldn't relent on the low sales that we had. Even we knew people bought
bought us as well. But we also wanted to give back to SAC because we've promised them that no matter what, every bottle that is being purchased, we're going to give a peso to the National Cardiothoracic Center.
Meanwhile, Evans Kofi revealed that the newly commissioned factory for Kasapreko in the Ashanti region is expected to triple the current production level of awake purified water. As part of its objectives, the company hopes to generate enough revenue to help increase its support to the National Cardiothoracic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Yeah, I think it's a good proposal he has brought. One thing I can assure him is that we're able to increase our capacity with our Kumasi factory. This capacity is going to double the number of consumption that is going to go on. So the money is also going to increase.
The executive director of the National Cardiothoracic Center, Dr. Lawrence Serebo, who received the check on behalf of the center, expressed gratitude to Kasapreko for sustaining their commitment to the center. He also entreated corporate bodies and individuals to follow suit and support the center.
Now we have some private facility but they are not doing much. And a private person, they are there to cash in on the money. It's a commercial entity, but here, what we do, the important thing is to make sure that the people get healthy. And these funds from Kasapreko and from a few other organizations go a long way in making sure that these people are able to financially be able to access heart surgery.
And that's how we end business with me, Charles Aite. Coming up next is sports.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the second part of the sports segment with me, Oreko Ampofo. And in the first part, I did make you a promise that the Joy Sports team would be bringing you the match ratings for each player, including the coach in the game versus Mali, where the Black Stars were thumped by 3-0 in CK Akono's first game in charge. And you should be seeing on your screens now the ratings of the players and the performances. And you can clearly see in goal Atisigi, who conceded 3 goals, scored a rating of 2, with Tariq Fosu scoring 3.5, being the highest in the team. Now, Nicholas Opoku and Nuhu, Kasim Nuhu, all they scored 2 as well. Gideon Mensah causing 2 goals from his side, scoring 1. Debutant Jiku got a 1.5. Thomas Partey, Arsenal's new player, scored a 3, and Bernard Mensah 2.5. And then we have Eugene Ansah, who scored half of 1, had to be substituted very early in the game for Kamal Dean. Kamal Dean, who came on, scored a 1 as well. Joseph Vadu with a 1. Lomete had a 1. Captain Andrea Ayew had a 2. His brother just had 0.5 more. Well, in case you did miss the game, this is the perfect summary in terms of the average of the ratings by these players. Now remember, the ratings are over 10, so it should give you a fair reflection of how poor the team just was on the day against Mali, failing to create any realistic or significant chance or opportunities in that game as well. Certainly, CK Akono has a lot of work to do. But let's come back to the local scene and talk about the Ghana Premier League, where Asante Kotoko has announced a new kits partnership with Italian sports manufacturers area. Now, the Porcupine Warriors recently terminated their kits sponsorship deal with Portuguese kits manufacturer Strike. The club, in a statement, announced that it has signed a new 3-year deal with the Italian designers.
3-year deal with the Italian sport equipment company will begin from the 2020-2021 football season, with sports science, culture, history and technological considerations at the center of the new designs and materials. Kotoko are calling on their teaming supporters to select their preferred home and away pair for the 2020-2021 season. The new deal comes 2 days after the club terminated their kit sponsorship deal with Club Consult Africa, producers of Strike. The Kumasi-based outfit signed a 3-year deal with Strike, a kit manufacturing company owned by Club Consult Africa, in 2018, but have now unilaterally terminated the contracts.
From football, let's do some boxing now, where Emmanuel Navarrete would fight Ruben Villa for the vacant featherweight title bout tonight. Now, Navarrete, who has won 31 matches and lost just 1, is currently 27 knockouts, and the Mexican fighter has a win streak of 27 games when he squares off versus Ruben Villa himself, who has 18 wins with 5 of them being knockouts. Now this will be for the vacant WBO 126-pound title recently left open by Shakur Stevenson. Well, that's the note on which we'll be wrapping up the sports segment here. My name is Oreko Ampofo, and do have a fantastic weekend as well.
Welcome back to the rest of our stories. Energy Minister John Peter Amewu confident of wrestling Hohoi parliamentary seat from the NDC. The Energy Minister John Amewu says he'll be winning the Hohoi parliamentary seat in the Volta region on the ticket of MPP. He says electorate in the constituency are pleased with his role in harnessing development to the area and the good works of the Akufo-Addo-led government. Hence, he would reward the NPP in the December polls. Mr. Amewu mentioned this when he addressed the media after successfully filing his nominations to contest the Hohoi parliamentary seat.
There was traffic congestion when the energy minister took to the streets to submit his nomination form to contest the Hohoi parliamentary seat. Residents from across the constituency, clad in NPP colors, led Mr. Amewu's convoy from his residence to the Hohoi municipal office of the Electoral Commission. Addressing the crowd, Mr. Amewu appealed to the constituents to give him the opportunity to transform Hohoi, which has been represented in Parliament by the National Democratic Congress since 1992.
There is a new Hohoi, and I want you to be part of that history.
Mr. Amewu, who is making a third bid for the Hohoi parliamentary seat, is however optimistic about winning this time around.
You've seen it from the people themselves, and I think that history is about to be made, and the people are excited, taking into consideration the numerous development projects that they have witnessed during these 4 years of the MPP administration. And so they think that it's time they begin to think positively, and by thinking positively to do the right thing and making sure that this seat this time goes to the new patriotic party. There's a huge opportunity for the youth. The level of unemployment in Hohoi is quite high, and what we began and will continue to do is to see how we engage the youth into numerous projects. We've started that process, and I think this is what is giving them the hope that if I represent them in Parliament, of course, the opportunity will be opened up to a lot more youth. The rate of unemployment in our streets, if it continues this way, I don't think we will all be happy about it. So the youth are happy that there's somebody coming in now to open up the opportunity for them, create job opportunity, train them, those who want to do, self-employed business, train them, facilitate the source of funding for them to engage in business. Our market women, we started facilitating some source of funding for them for their trading activities. The farmers group, and all the other, various groups in the traditional and then the constituency at large. These are some of the things that we think if we do will help them and help Ghana as a whole.
So what percentage of your vote are you expecting in your constituency?
That is very interesting, but it's going to be very wonderful, and at the right time when the result is declared, you will know. But I'm extremely sure, you know, and it is clear. I have no doubt in my mind that this seat this time it's gone. It's no longer a seat for the NDC. We are taking this seat, as you are already aware, 4 more for Nana Addo to do more, and I have to go with Nana Addo so that we do more for the people of our constituency.
Nonetheless, he cautioned the constituents against voting skirt and blouse. He advised that they vote based on personality and achievements and not on party lines. Mr. Amewu is expected to face a fierce contest from the NDC's Professor Margaret Kweku, who also has her eyes set on the Hohoe parliamentary seat. Fred Kwame Asari, Joynews, Hohoe.
And coming up at 9 p.m., Progressive People's Party flag bearer Bridget Jogbenuko says she looks forward to an inclusive government where she will be bringing all other parties on board in the events that Ghanaians give her the nod.
I am thinking of an inclusive government. What I'll do differently is the inclusiveness. The fact that it's a PPP-led government does not mean that there's no NDC or there's no. In fact, there isn't. We are all Ghanaians. Let's forget about this divisive partisan politics and bring everybody together, because there are brilliant people on both sides. There are brilliant people and good people who want the good of the country and not for just themselves. There are a few who want just their own good and being greedy and selfish, but there are also people who want the right thing done, and they are in both these parties. And what has happened is they belong to these two parties because they think that they are the two, they are the only two. I chose to do it differently and go with the PPP. I've heard people say to me that, she's in the wrong party. I say those are the wrong parties for me.
So that was Bridget Jogbenuko, who comes up on PM Personality Profile at 9 p.m. You must make a date and stay on the Joynews channel for it. Now time for the interactive segment, and we've been mourning since morning with the murder of the Member of Parliament. And of course, yesterday you heard about armed robbery attacks. Just few weeks or days ago, we've been talking about Professor Bene, who was also murdered in cold blood. It's becoming scary. We posted this on Facebook. Let's see the comments coming up. Nana Kofi Shifaro says, why is Chairman of Sampo still working? Oh, come on. Kingsmate Stephen says, Akufo-Addo promised God a cathedral. He failed to deliver. He promised to take care of Ghanaians and provide security, but he failed. More Brain says, as the poor died and nothing was said about it, so the rich and politicians, oh, come on, let's be a bit, let's not be harsh with our words. Genevieve says, rest in peace, MPA call. Francis says, Ghana. Adele says, rest in peace. Jonas, okay, so those are some images. A number of comments pouring in, most of them just sympathizing with the family of the bereaved. That'll be it for the interactive segment. That's also it for the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha. My many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.